do that affects the earth. I have a natural balance. When it's messed with, I am hurt. Reduce, reuse, recycle, plant, donate, don't throw away are the topics we'll touch upon in this song on Earth Day. Reduce the use of plastic because you all live on me. If you don't, it hurts the environment and pollutes the land and sea. Reduce means use less or smaller in amount. Only 8% of plastic is recycled, take that into account. Reuse things you have instead of throwing them away. Here's some things that you can reuse to do your part each day. Glass jars, containers, and some types of cans. They can be reused in other ways if you have a plan. You can reuse newspapers, magazines, and paper bags for art projects like paper mache to show your friends and brag. Plastic bags can be reused as grocery totes, and if you can't find uses for them, here's how to recycle those. Any family should have a bin for recycling. Make sure you put each item in the proper bins to recycle these things. Planting trees creates oxygen for you to breathe. This is important because oxygen is what we all need. Donate the things you don't need instead of throwing them away. There are people all over that can use your donations today. Everything you do now can create the changes within me. The future is in your hand. Go make the changes we all need. Happy Earth Day to you. Celebrate this day every day. It's so important for the future of this earth where you all play. It's Earth Day every day. Help take care of the earth where you live and play. On Earth Day, the 22nd of April, we all fight today for a better tomorrow.
We get it. You don't really want your kids watching videos, but it can have certain advantages.
We don't need you anymore. Thank you. All right. Okay, so that's Earth Day. Really cool thing about Earth Day this year is it's the 50 years we've been celebrating Earth Day. So go outside today. Well, I don't know. With the rain, hopefully it stops that you can get outside.
Not going outside due to COVID and rain, the perfect combination.
Well, if you go outside in your yard, you're not going to catch COVID.
Yeah, I just recommend.
Nobody lives by me. I can go outside.
When it rains, I go outside anytime possible. I don't care if it's rainy, if it's snowing, if it's hailing. I don't care. I'll just bundle up.
It is. It is safe to go outside and in your yard. It's safe, David. You can go out. Yes, Connor.
It's safe because there's only we only have maybe three neighbors, and the other ones are in the forest. And really, we don't have to really worry about it here. And to prove that, yesterday we legitimately went wading in the creek.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Connor. And everybody get your science book out now. Taryn, you need to put your camera on, please. And get your science book and go to page A, the letter A, 12. Whoops. Why did it do that? A12. That's the page you need to be on. Get ready. We're going to get started on A12 is your page. We're going to get started on, now that we learned the 5 kingdoms and we've gone through the 5 kingdoms, we're going to focus on the animal kingdom and how we break down the animal kingdom and classify animals. So we're going to take that one kingdom, animals, and we're going to break it down. And what you're going to find is that we will see 5 different groups. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different groups that animals can be broken down into. And it's just like when we classified with our sneakers. When we classified with our sneakers, remember that, where we put made two big piles, maybe some with ties and some without ties. And then we broke those into smaller and smaller groups. It's the same thing they do with animals. The animals are broken into two big piles, vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates have a backbone and invertebrates do not have a backbone. So we're going to get a good chunk of the information on page A12 and A13 about these different groups. If you guys all feel your back right in the middle, just put your hand and rub it up and down. You can feel your vertebrates. You can feel your backbone. You can feel it in there. So just take a feel for that. So you guys are all part of the vertebrate group in animals. Okay? All right. Let's have somebody read them. Mute your mic if you'd like to read now. David Ann, you're so blurry because you don't get close enough to your microphone. We can't hear you when you're.
Okay.
Let's have David Summer. Let's have David Summer, and you get yourself situated, David Ann. David Summer, go ahead and read Animals with the Backbone.
You are probably familiar with many members of the animal kingdom. An animal is a living thing made up of many cells that have nuclei. Animals can't make their own food. They must eat other living things to survive. Scientists divide the animal kingdom into two large groups. One group of animals has backbones. The other group does not. Animals that have a backbone are called vertebrates. The large group of vertebrates is divided into several smaller groups. Mammals have hair and produce milk for their young. Cats and dogs are mammals that you may have as pets. Lizards, snakes, and turtles are reptiles. Reptiles have dry, scaly skin. Amphibians have moist skin and no scales. Most of them begin life in water, but they live on land as adults. Frogs, toads, and newts are amphibians. Other groups of vertebrates include birds and fish. Most vertebrates have sharp senses and large brains. These characteristics help them survive in their surroundings.
Okay, so the question is, what makes vertebrates different from other animals? Obviously, it's the backbone, and if you look at the snake skeleton, you see a really good picture of what a backbone looks like. So is a snake a vertebrate or an invertebrate? Aaron? Would you say a snake is a vertebrate or an invertebrate? Unmute your mic, Aaron.
A vertebrate.
Okay. All right. So looking at some of the animals they have here, they have a mongoose. I don't know if I've ever seen a mongoose. A mongoose and a frog are both vertebrates. What characteristics do they share with the snake? And of course, it's the backbone. Okay. Taryn, could I have you unmute your mic and read about animals without a backbone? Animals without a backbone.
Wait, what is?
Yeah.
No, not Aaron. No, Aaron. I said Taryn.
Oh.
Sorry. Taryn doesn't come out too good. Taryn, you with me?
Yep.
Go, girl.
Animals without a backbone are called
invertebrates.
Invertebrates. There are many more types of invertebrates than types of vertebrates. Most invertebrates are smaller than vertebrates. Arthropods are invertebrates with legs that have several joints. Their bodies have two or more parts, and they often have shells that protect them. There are several groups of arthropods. Insects make up the largest group. Adult insects such as beetles and bees have 6 legs. Spiders are insects. They and other arthropods. such as mites, crabs, and scorpions, have 8 eggs. Eight legs. You want me to read the only one?
Mollusks? Yeah, you could read about mollusks.
Mollusks are invertebrates.
Invertebrates
that may or may not have a hard outer shell. Snails, clams, and squids are mollusks. Invertebrates also include several groups of worms. Worms have no shells, legs, or eyes. Earthworms, tapeworms, and flatworms belong to different groups of invertebrates.
Invertebrates. Okay. Okay. Take a quick look at the chart down below. It has a pie graph. It says invertebrates and vertebrates. Is my captions not on? Oh, sorry. It helps to see the words. Okay. If you take a look at the pie chart, I couldn't believe when I saw this pie chart. I don't think you'll believe it either. But if you look at all the yellow part, and then you have a little tiny sliver of red, 97% of all the animals in the animal kingdom, all of them, 97% of them are invertebrates. 97%.
Wow.
I know. And
That's crazy.
You could probably sit down and list 100 vertebrates that you know. But there are so many more things like the earthworms and the arthropods and the insects that are invertebrates. 3% of all the animals in the world. Yosh, you are not to chat during class. Gavin, you don't want to go to tiger jail. There's no chatting during class. 3% vertebrates is that little sliver. That's dogs, cats, gorillas, horses, all frogs, all the things that they said are vertebrates. That's only 3% of all the animals on the world. That to me was crazy when I saw that. I did not believe that.
Because there's so many sea animals. Like,
wait, David S. and David N. You can't just like unmute and talk. Unmute, and then I know you want to say something, and then I'll call your name. Because if you all unmute at the same time, we can't figure it out. David S., go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, fish have a backbone, right?
Yes, they do. If you
so every single fish is a vertebrate.
Correct.
And even after all that, it's only 3%.
I know.
What about rats? There are billions of rats.
David N., again, you may not just open your mic and talk. You may talk when I call your name. So, yeah, David S., would be good to kind of research that question. In fresh water, what kind of animals are in fresh water that are invertebrates? Okay, David N., you may respond now.
What about like rats and humans? There are billions of rats in the world, and if you think about it,
well, okay, but they don't mean how many of them are there. They mean rats. That's one. Humans is one. They're not counting all of the numbers.
They're counting them as a species, not
as a species. Not yes. Yes, okay, they're not counting how many there are.
In that case, it would have probably been.
Okay, so. This is all we're doing in science today. You have a lot of vocabulary, and that's your homework in science. I would do vertebrates and then make a list of the vertebrates. So you need to define what a vertebrate is. And then you have mammals, reptiles, amphibians, invertebrates. Then go to the page A13, define invertebrates, and you have 2 examples of types of invertebrates there. So your homework for today, can you see the board? Your homework for today is make sure I have to pull this up. I can't see. All right. Your homework for today. You have religion. Make sure your study guide is ready. We will go over it tomorrow. Social studies study guide, we will go over tomorrow. You should have that done. And science, that's your only homework that you just got today, is do your vocabulary and definitions on page A12 and A13.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. We don't have the paper to do it.
What paper?
The paper that says like the name of the thing and the definition. We don't have that paper.
No, you do not. You're going to have to write it on your own paper. You have a choice, David. You can do it as a Google Doc if you want to keep it all in your classroom, or you can do it on paper and put it into your folder. I think that's your choice, whatever works best for you guys. If you would like to have it in your folder, handy in your folder, do it on paper. If you're more comfortable with it on the computer, you may do it on computer. That's a good question, David. David Summer, you have a question?
Yeah. Instead of doing how we remember, can we do examples of like?
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. Saad, you have a question?
So, how many examples should we list?
I would list all of them that they have there.
Okay.
Okay.